Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you today?
Good. I look really formal.
Well, you kind of downplayed it yesterday with no collar, so maybe
it's makeup. It's makeup clothing.
Yeah, that's all right. Sometimes you have to do that. And you're probably cold. It's cold outside, so it's probably cold on your back porch.
It is brisk. Yes. I about 20 minutes ago, I was sitting out here drinking coffee and seeing my breath and thinking, boy, this could be a fun 8 o'clock with my breath as part of the program. But what are you going to do?
It is what is real.
It is indeed what is real. So we've been talking. I'm going to go right into it. Okay.
I guess, sure.
Okay. We've been talking all week about how you multiply the R, and the R is what's real for you, and how you and the R is your knowledge, experience, and perspective. Okay. So if you take a second, think about that, your knowledge, what you know, your experience, what things you've done and not done, and your perspective, what those things have helped you learn. That takes you to the opportunity to find people who are aligned with you, people who understand who and what you are, and support you in various ways. And yesterday was my birthday, as some of you may know, and I got an incredible amount of support yesterday from people, from family, from people like Tom, from friends, from clients. And one of the things that really struck me over the course of the day was how many things I do that people recognize that I don't think of as part of me. Like one of my nieces said that you always tell a joke at the perfect time, and you always know the right advice to give me at the perfect time. And one of my clients told me that I don't know what it is, but you just seem to know what I need when I need it. And I think we all do that in our own way. And I'm not saying I'm amazing or anything like that, but it was a real reminder to me that I see myself as doing A, B, and C really well. But for so many people I interact with, A, B, and C are like, yeah, whatever. They see something else in me. And the R, what's real for me is, I hate to say it, very narrow at times. And what's real for the people I interact with could be very broad.
Sure. Because we don't know what they're ready to receive. Just think about, if you ever thought about all that you put out in the world, you could never remember everything you've said, everything you've done, every article you've shared, you think about all the conversations you've had throughout your life. Yes, there will be times when you'll get that immediate reaction and you'll know that you have had an impact on someone. And at the same time, there are a lot of times you'll just say that and there'll be nothing because they haven't received it yet. Or they've received it, but they're not sure how to tell you that they've received it. And so what is sort of happening, which is what I love, is we put stuff out there. And at some point we find out that others did receive it, that it did become a gift to someone. And I think, that's the beautiful part about this, is we all are out there looking for something. And there's so much of it out there. We just have to find it. We have to find where is that gift that we want to receive. And so I think what happened to you was you were starting to receive what was real for them, right? That they have understood the value that you provided at some point, not even knowing that you were doing it. And I'm sure you don't tell a joke. I mean, sometimes you probably tell a joke to lighten the mood. And other times you just tell a joke because you're like, hey, I think this might be funny. Let me share it. Right. And may land with everybody laughing. It may land and everybody turns and gives you one of those looks sometimes I give you is like, what was that? And there might be somebody over in the corner who you're not looking at who does respond. Be like, wow, that was really funny. But because of your perspective, you were looking this way. You didn't see the reaction over there. And unless they came and told you, how would you ever know? And so I think that our topic for today is being committed to it. I think what it's being committed to is that what you are is real and how you share that in the world. Because if we're not committed to it, we stop sharing that. We stop sharing what's real for us. And someone out there needs it. And if we're not sharing it, they can't find it.
I think that makes perfect sense, Tom. The other thing that really struck me yesterday, you hit these birthdays and you have to think about yourself and your life and all, I guess, and all that good stuff. Well, I do. I think too much. But one thing that really struck me yesterday is the idea of really admitting to myself who I am and being that. So if someone said, I want to work with someone who doesn't crack jokes, I think 5, 7, 10 years ago, I would have said, okay, and just said, I'm not going to crack jokes with this person. And in doing that, I would have been unreal. I wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have been what they need. And I would have just grinned and borne it. That doesn't fit me anymore. Now it's like, you either like Bob or you don't like Bob. And there are people out there that I'm sure watch this once and go, dude, you are way too whatever. I don't care anymore. And I think that's one of the things as I've tried to, I care a little bit. I can't lie completely. I care a little bit, but I'm getting closer and closer to, okay, fine. It's just not the flavor of ice cream for you. Go to another store, and if they have Rocky Road, have their Rocky Road, but I'm serving you chocolate chip. If you like chocolate chip, have at it.
Well, here's the thing, I think, is that if we just try to please everyone, are we ever going to impact or influence their R? It's going to stay the same. Their knowledge is going to be the same. Their experiences are going to be the same. Their perspective definitely won't change. So their R is going to stay what it is. And I think I heard that once, and I'm sure I've shared this on this show in a past episode of, that if everyone likes us, we're not creating enough change. We're not challenging people. We're not sharing more information to allow their R to change, to be influenced, at least a tiny little bit. If we're not doing that, how are things ever everything's always going to stay the same? And is that really what we're looking for?
It's also difficult in this process because as we become more of ourselves, we open ourselves up to more criticism because people, I don't know if I want to say the word evolved in some ways. And also as we become different to people around us, sometimes there's a friction because they see you moving like this and they're moving at a snail's pace. Sometimes they're moving in the other direction. And rather than go, I really appreciate and support you and this is awesome, they tend to become petty and jealous and envious. And I've seen this with a friend of ours that you and I have, that there have been some comments like, just why would you want this thing? And it's like, whatever, and okay, if you want a Lamborghini, that's great. I think that's awesome. If that's what motivates you, have at it. I've never been in a Lamborghini. I hope I get to sit in it one day and go for a ride. But someone else's interest in a Lamborghini or a yacht or the best golf score in the world or the fitness title, CrossFit, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me. That's what their R is. My R is very clear to me now. And as I focus on my R, those other things are nice to know, but they shouldn't become my R, and they can't become my R. So if I'm comparing someone who wants a Lamborghini to me, who wants to change people's lives in profound ways, that comparison can never coexist in a productive way. It can only make me have to change to, well, if I want a Lamborghini and change the world in profound ways, that's going to shift a lot of things. And that doesn't become real for me.
At least that's at the moment. Your knowledge, experience, and perspective could change. And you might be at some point, you might have felt like, wow, I've done a whole lot to help people grow. And be like, maybe it's time to help me grow. And part of me growing would be, I want a beach house. I want a Lamborghini, something else that now my knowledge and experience and my perspective is different. And I think the beauty of it is that we're always taking that in. We're always influencing what our R is. And it's just whatever that mix is becomes what's real for us today. Doesn't mean it might not be real for us tomorrow, 6 months, a year from now. Who knows? You might watch somebody get a Lamborghini and like, wow, or you sit in it once. It's like, wow, this is a really cool car. This really goes fast. It has great control. Might be fun to have one of these one day. Until you have that experience, it might not become what's real for you, which is again, is fine. It's where you are in your journey. And I think, whatever is real for us right now is a spot in time. There's a big part of what's real for us that will stay true for a long time. And then with all new inputs, it's going to have an influence on who and what we are. And I think that's the interesting thing. I think there's a comment here that I want to share, is that I'm making a commitment to follow up with people and stay true to my word on my actions, to follow through on doing what I say I am going to do. And I think that is what is real for them now. Now, the thought is that potentially in the past, just by the way the comments were made, is that might not have been real for them a year ago, 6 months ago, 6 years ago. What is real for them now is this. And so now they have had new knowledge, experience, and perspective that is making them think differently about what is real and how they want to then share what's real with others.
Tom, that's our friend Carrie. I was checking while you were talking about that comment. That's Carrie's comment. We got to get Carrie to put her info in so that we can see her name. That would make life easier for us, wouldn't it?
Yes.
That would make what's real for me a whole lot quicker.
That's all right. It is, I think that's one of the beauties I love about this is that what's real, this show is real for us every morning at, every morning at 8.
Or 8:04.
Or 8:04. It's real for others when they choose to pop in. So today it was real for Carrie. So she popped in and she's hopefully getting something that's going to benefit her in the future or today.
She also likes your picture. She commented about your picture up there.
It's I saw that comment, and that picture has gotten me so many comments that is interesting. I was like working on my green screen and I thought, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have a quote up there? And honestly, I did a fairly simple search for a quote. I don't even know what I was searching for. And this popped up and I'm like, that kind of makes sense. I'm not sure I gave it a whole lot of thought, to be honest. And now that I see it there, it makes so much sense. And it so ties into what we've been talking about what is real. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. So if you think about it, you did something a today ago. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm with you.
And what has happened is that has come home to you. It came home to you yesterday. And now, probably yesterday, you spent some time thinking back on, wow, all those things I did, all those todays ago, I'm so thankful now that I did them. I didn't realize it at the time. And maybe you did. Sometimes we realize what we do is like, wow, this could have a big influence. Yesterday, you got some of the results of some of the things that you did. And I think that's what's beautiful about it as well, is that it encourages you to take action. and not worry about. I was having a conversation with one of my clients yesterday, and she was sharing with her team that she wanted them to take risks, calculated risks, and not worry about failure. It was kind of the way she shared it with me. And she was talking a little bit about it, and what made complete sense. She wants them to not be afraid, and as she said, of failure. And I shared with her, I just asked, I said, I wonder if by using the word failure, which is on my list of dirty words.
Naughty words.
Yes. That limits someone because they think, because while she may be equating failure with knowledge gained, someone else's perspective is maybe they've heard, well, that was a failure 7 times throughout their lives. That's been like, well, I don't want to hear that again, even though it was shared in a way that was meant to be positive and is a moving force. Their perspective might be, I don't want to fail because I know what comes with it. Because when I failed with other things, I said, well, what if you just shared, the most important thing is we're going to learn from what we're doing, is that whatever we do, and as long as we've done some, calculated decisions of why we're making these choices, let's then step back afterwards and just say what went well, what didn't go as planned, and what might I do differently? So that it's not like you're not judging it as a failure. We're just judging it, just mentioning it as, what did we learn? And how do we use that knowledge, information, or knowledge, experience, and perspective to help us move forward? And so I think that's being committed to what's real. Is that what's real? For some people, failure is not a good word, and it brings back not so strong memories.
I'm not sure which of us is having internet problems today. It's probably me, but there's a little lag there. So I apologize, people. So, Tom, I think when we talk about the idea of committing to our R, what's that one thing today that you think that someone can apply right now, what we call our today's antidote, which we've been doing since March 19th every day, not trying to take the big bite of the apple, but to take a taste and see what might change something, a little shift today that can make a big difference. What do you think?
So I'm going to go with, you mentioned it early, and I think that it is, don't be as impacted by someone who doesn't like the way you are, what's real for you. They might just not be ready to make a change. That's not about you. It's just about them. They weren't ready to receive what you had, and they reacted to it rather than maybe taking the time to think about, well, what information have I just gained? And I think so often, and it's so human nature, because we want to feel like the things that we share add value to someone. And when someone reacts negatively to it or is not interested, it can be very easy for us to be like, well, that joke didn't work. Maybe they really are I should never joke. That conversation didn't go well. They didn't become my client, buy my product. They didn't get excited about the project the team had. Maybe I need to change. And that's possible. And it's also possible that they weren't ready to receive the message you shared, to receive what is real for you. They may down the line in the future. And so I think when you think about being committed to what's real, be committed to what's real for you right now. And I think your comment about that is helpful. And the way you shared it is that it hasn't always been that for you. And you've had to come around to it. And now you're starting to see the value of who you are and what you do and how you share it, knowing that not everybody's going to receive it right away. Not everybody's going to even receive it well. They might have a negative reaction, and that is okay. They're not ready for that change yet.
Looks like you're tracking with Carrie here, Tom. She says, good words, Tom. I let go of what others think of me, and I receive strength and courage. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that you shouldn't consider it, because sometimes there are not flaws, but there are things about what's real for us that we need to better understand. And maybe it's not them, it might be us. So we might want to take that, and it goes into our knowledge, experience, and perspective, and it may influence what's real for us. And it might be such a tiny bit of information that it has no influence.
Or it may be someone else's perspective is completely different based on their experience. So they are sharing what they know, which is real to them. It doesn't mean what's real to them isn't real. Correct. It just means it's not your reality. And I think that's something we have to reconcile is you and I work together. There are times when we have a difference of our reality, where if I write the word failure in a piece of marketing, you go, whoa, hey, I'm not comfortable with that word. Okay, I can use that word and you may not use that word. And that doesn't mean that you're wrong and I'm right. It doesn't mean that I'm right and you're wrong. It just means that at this moment, that word may or may not work for you. And we've had things that you and I have gone through where it's been like, yeah, okay, I don't really agree with that. And then a week later, hey, you know what? I've been thinking about that. I think you might be right. Or the third option, I've taken your experience, layered it into my experience, and now I have this new insight that comes out of that. And I think that's ultimately when we talk about committing to the R, that's really what we're driving at is you take what's core to you, what you understand, what you know, what you believe, what you're committed to, and then layer onto it those things that come along that you say, hey, oh, I like some of that. It's like ice cream at the ice cream shop. I want chocolate chip ice cream. I want sprinkles. Oh, I'd love those wet walnuts. They're really good. I'd like some whipped cream. And someone else goes, whoa, dude, that's crazy. That's way too much chocolate. Or I hate those walnuts. Okay, fine. You get your ice cream with the walnuts, but there may be or without it. But one day they may go, can I try that? Because that might actually be, I've been thinking about that. I didn't realize it was syrupy. So let me try that and see if I like, oh man, boy, I wish I'd liked this 10 years ago. This is awesome.
Yeah. And I think what you just shared is maybe even the bigger picture. We should be committed to our R. And remember that R does not equal right. R equals real. So just because it's real for us doesn't mean it's real for somebody else. So often, I think today we are caught in many people believe there are what is right, not what is real. And I think that is a huge challenge that we face. And so because of that, they want everybody else, because they think that their R is right, they think everybody else should believe the same thing. When we believe that our R is real, we understand that it might not be real for someone else.
So, Tom, with that, we probably should wrap this episode up and tell people that if you've never been here before, welcome. This is today's Antidote. We do this every day except Sunday, right, Tom? Do we do Sunday or do we not do Sunday?
No Sunday.
We don't. Not yet. You never know. Look for us tomorrow. Saturday's program, I love every program we do, but Saturday's program to me is really something special because Tom and I sort of look back on the week, and I think for me at least, it's where did I start the week and what have I discovered over the course of the week? And I find that those discussions we have on Saturday tend to be a little more, for me, insightful. Not that these aren't insightful, but sort of a broader brushstroke of things. So that's tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. We do record that, so you'll see us wearing these same clothes. So if you think if you've had a tough Friday, you wake up Saturday and you're like, oh, I'm looking at yesterday. No.
Right.
You're okay.
Yes.
And then, Tom, beyond that, we should tell people that we are going to be on every day, every weekday, and every Saturday through the end of the year and into next year. So somehow we'll do Christmas Day. I'm not sure how we'll do that. We might do that live. We might do that recorded. You never know.
You never know.
We don't know what's real for us right now there.
Correct.
And is there anything else we need to run by people?
No, I would just say thanks, everybody, for joining. If you are not a member of our Ring of Renegades, where we have conversations like this all the time, great discussions, there are great quotes, polls. It's a community where you can go and share what is real for you. And there's a great chance that you're going to be able to hear what's real for others, and that may provide you with new knowledge, experience, and perspective. So if you're not a member, go to Facebook. Sometimes I always feel like I say the Facebook. Go to Facebook and search for Ring of Renegades.
What are you, the dean at Harvard, circa like 1992?
Correct. And you will, you can join our private group. So you can come in. It's a safe space where you can share with others. And if not, we will see you here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of Today's Antidote. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day, and we will see you soon. Are you struggling to make your vision a reality? Are you stuck and don't know what to do next? Are fear and doubt holding you back? The Renegade Success Network will help you determine the next steps on your pathway. Here is some of what you will get. Create your pathway call to start you on a better path. Unlimited laser solution sessions to keep you from getting stuck. Nurture your network events to build your network with other successful leaders. Monthly Renegade challenges to prepare you for what lies ahead. The Renegade Success Vault, giving you access to videos, tools, and tips on specific topics anytime you need them. And the Renegade Success Network community, an exclusive Facebook group of like-minded renegades, all working towards achieving their goals. You have a choice. Do it yourself and fumble forward slowly and alone. Or join the Renegade Success Network and be part of a community built to help you find your own pathway. Join today at renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Act now and jumpstart your journey on your own pathway to success.